So 4 men, this time they have 2 blades each. It's a sculling race, and it's the sculling race for schoolboys. On the left of your picture, it's the men from Leander Club, the local club here with the pink blades, very distinctive. And then a local school, RGS High Wycombe, Royal Grammar School High Wycombe. There on the right of your screen, on what we call the Buckinghamshire station. And Martin, you've got more than a bit of interest in this race.
Yeah, I'm actually a bit nervous. I don't normally do nerves, but yeah, 3 of these lads are at the Henley College, and the new principal, Jane Davis, went down to Leander to meet these lads. They're on the ACE programme. This is the Leander A crew. Tom Mortimer there at stroke. And how are they doing, Martin?
Well, it's interesting to hear you're nervous, actually, because I think this is a fantastic race. No nerves at all from me, and I'm just really... I would tend to think the men from Leander, you know, if you've got guys in that programme, then they've got such a wealth of experience in that club that maybe they'll prevail. But the Royal Grammar School High Wycombe will have done so well to get this far. They came 8th at the Marlow Regatta this year, just in the B final of quadruple sculls. But you've really got to be sculling well to get into this event and get into day 2. Marlow didn't, Leander Club didn't race yesterday, so...
Their B crew raced yesterday. They had a really good race over Reading. They qualified really well, and they look very, very good indeed. These guys...
Interesting steering going on there, and I wonder if the umpire's going to bring his flag up, because Leander, the crew with the pink blades, have now steered right out into the middle of the course, and they are sending their puddles down onto the blades of RGS High Wycombe, and the umpire hasn't raised his flag. I think that might be Phelpsy, Richard Phelps. He's looking behind. And
the RGS have actually moved aside. No, we teach them fair play at the Henley College, and
yeah.
I'm sure they didn't do that deliberately.
Well, I think that's Richard Phelps being very cool, if it is indeed Richard Phelps umpiring, but the Leander crew, I mean, to an extent, they can move out into the middle, and of course the umpire determines who is on their station. He is the sole arbiter of what determines a fair race, and I think Leander pulled a blinder on that one, Martin. Who's steering in that boat?
That's a very good question. I think it's Mike Canning actually in the bow. James Lanton Hayes is at 2, and the youngster in the boat there, Will New. The stroke Tom Mortimer is actually a GB trialist. Tom only learnt to scull 2 years ago, so he's done pretty well, really. Moving now down past the 3/4 mile. This crew at Leander, coached by Carl Reed, assisted by Lavinia Carroll Sheriff, and Matt Beachy gives them a kick every now and then in a nice way. But they're looking pretty tidy, heading now down past Remenham Club. And
so Remenham Club, let's just talk us through that famous club that the Leander crew is passing. What is the special thing about Remenham Club? Is it a rowing club, or...?
Well, they don't keep any boats there. It's the base, isn't it, for the upriver clubs? Are you trying to catch me out? The upriver
I'm not
clubs.
trying to catch you up. Well, I know it's Molesey, Twickenham,
yeah,
and Kingston,
Thames,
and Thames. They bought this patch of land at Henley, and they've made a club so the members can come down and enjoy their regatta. So if you're from any of those clubs, you go past that club there, you get the Remenham Roar.
The Remenham Roar, you do indeed. And it's interesting that those clubs have mixed fortunes over the years. So, you know, Kingston back in the 80s were up there, and then, you know, Molesey, and it's sort of been this wave of Thames, of course, and lots of people, well, they never venture out of there, really. They sit there for 5 days and sit on the mound and roar any of their founder clubs along. Here's Leander now. They've wound down a bit here.
So Leander will start to pick up the roars from the stewards' enclosure. Of course, the local club, well supported here by those on the bank. You can see the fantastic grandstands and the spectators in their deck chairs in the stewards' enclosure. Great sight as you see the umpires launch, just watching over this race very carefully, and the stroke of that boat, Tom Mortimer, just saying, you know, let's conserve some energy because they're going to have a good race tomorrow.
They are indeed. They're up against the winners of their B crew later on this afternoon, up against Northwich. Northwich medalled up at national schools. This crew, the A crew, they finished 4th, although they had a bit of a mishap down the course. I think they caught a crab, and then the lad fell off his seat, and then they panicked. So, you know, how quick are they? And this is their home stretch. It is side by side. Wait and see.
And what a great effort from the crew on the left of your screen from the Royal Grammar School High Wycombe. They are throwing in everything, literally everything. You can see what it means to them to try and get back on terms with Leander. They're not going to do it, but that's a fantastic sprint that the stroke of that crew, Ed Davis, has raised. And Leander looking very cultured, but they will know they've been in a race. They really can't afford to ease off too much because the High Wycombe crew behind them are pushing them so hard. So we come up to the finish, the floating grandstand. The crews will know as they pass that. You'll see that just there, come into shot, and there's the finish. The Leander A crew take that race in the Fawley Challenge Cup by 3 lengths or so from the fighting lads from the Royal Grammar School High Wycombe.